Spread your wings and fly, go!
Yo, what is going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Rider Zero Spike back again once again, and today we're here for Kamen Rider Revice episode 14, and holy gefilte fish, this was a great episode. There was so much going on at once, but at the same time, nothing felt rushed, nothing felt like it was just going too fast or anything like that. It was just solid. Like everything was coming together at the end. Like the bad guys got a huge win out of this. I don't know about Aguilera, but they got a huge win out of this. Not the Deadmans have increased their army by drastically, because now we got three stage 2 Deadmans out there that we gotta freaking deal with. So now we got 6 big guys, 6 big Deadmen to deal with, and just a huge realization in this episode that I'm pretty sure that none of us thought about all the way back in episode 1. So it's like, yo, this is a lot going on. And we're dealing with Kudo, who is the lawyer guy, and the guy who was the leader of the Deadman's cult, and they're basically the two out in the forefront right now. They're taking on Iki, and Kudo's taking on Iki, and the other dude, he's taking on Sakura. He actually goes to Sakura's school and everything and tries to deal with her, and it's a lot. We see that Hiromi, Daiji, and George, they're all talking about who the traitor amongst them is, and they actually find out that it's Commander Yujiro, and Commander Yujiro is the traitor, but he's a traitor in a different way. Let's get into it. So they're sitting there talking about it. They talked about how in episode 1, when that mammoth Deadman showed up out of nowhere, we don't know who birthed it. They don't know who birthed it. It just came out of nowhere as like the big distraction. So it got birthed, and turns out Commander Yujiro, he was watching all of that go down, and the Chameleon Deadman, our new Deadman that's been around him, he comes in and he kills Commander Yujiro and takes his form. And so from episode 1 all the way up to now, the commander has been a Deadman, has been that Chameleon Deadman, looking at everything from behind this, like just infiltrated from behind the scenes. And I was like, yo, that's messed up and very tragic. And also, I like how we go back to Kudo, and Kudo, he just walks straight up into the bathhouse, strong arms Iki's dad, and goes to the bathhouse, and he sees Iki, and he's like, I'm gonna take you down right here now, whatever. And Iki's like, I don't care what you're here for, take off your shoes. And he forcibly takes off Kudo's shoes. So we see Iki transform into Braid Rex, and he does it kind of differently this time, where we see that Vice is the one that slams the egg on top of Iki this time, instead of the egg just popping it out of nowhere. And we see that the shield that Vice created is like a permanent thing now. So that's also cool. Don't know how that works, but that's also very cool. And also, while Iki's fighting Kudo, we see that the cult guy, he comes to Sakura's school, and he basically attacks her school, looking for her with his Deadman, with his mass-produced, regeneration Deadman. And he ends up cornering her and her friends in the gymnasium. And it's kind of cool because, her friends, and a lot of people don't know that Sakura is Kamen Rider Jean. I was thinking that she kind of didn't keep that a secret, because they have to know that her brothers are riders, so I don't know where that goes. But also, she ends up transforming in front of her friends, and her friends are like, "Oh my God, Sakura's Jean!" And she ends up we see that the cult guy comes in, and he tries to he goes off, and he tries to tell his dead man to go tell his little Pokemon dead man to go fight her, and out of nowhere, we see was it Julio or Tekka? I think it was Ortega. Yeah, it was Ortega. Ortega comes in and says, "Nah, you ain't sitting on but he's a do-it-yourself." And he takes his stamp and he stamps the contract and he turns it to his dead man form. Which I was like, okay, so you don't. Oh God, so you don't need you don't need a dead man. Well, you don't need to stamp it yourself. Someone else can stamp it for you, as long as it's your stamp and it's your dead man, I guess. So. Yeah. So while all this fighting is going on, we see that, George, Daiji, and Hiromi, they're on to what Yujiro is planning, even though Yujiro was listening in on their conversation with a little microphone at the bottom of the table, and he goes into the room where the GIF Vice stamp is, the big black one with the claw on it. He goes to take it out of the case, and he pulls open the case, and it's a figurine of Kamen Ichigo. And I was like, Tool, you thought, boy, you thought. And we see that the lights come on, and George is sitting there. And they're talking to him. We see Daiji and Hiromi both there, got their guns pointed at him, and I'm just like, why aren't y'all transformed? Why aren't you guys preparing to transform? Like, why? Like, why didn't they didn't transform or anything? They just tried to take him out with these regular freaking guns. And, Hiromi is very distraught, and he has this very real kind of connection, kind of reaction to this. And turns out he has a connection with the previous, he has with the real Yujiro, not this Yujiro, who is the chameleon deadman. So what he does is he goes up to him, and he tells him, like, I believed in you, you were my idol, all this stuff. I believed in you, I looked up to you, I did all this stuff. And he says, all right, well, shoot me then. Shoot me if you really think I betrayed you. If you really think you've lost, have I really betrayed your trust? Then shoot me then. And Hiromi's like, I can't shoot him, and stuff like that. And he's like, all right, cool. And then he ends up turning and betraying on them. He doesn't turn to his demon form, but he betrays them. And he beats both. He beats up him and Daiji. And I'm just like, why? Why didn't y'all, like, Daiji, you could have transformed right there and fought this guy off at some point. Like, you could have did that. And see, George, he's just sitting there. He knew that he had to be the traitor because no one knew. Because for some reason, when the Chameleon Deadman was disguised as that random Phoenix member, and he talked about the Braid Rex. He's like, okay, no one knows about the Braid Rex except for me, Iki, and Yujiro. So I knew that he had to be the traitor. I knew that this guy had to be the traitor in some form or fashion. So he tells George to give Vice stamp. George gives it to him, which blew my freaking mind. I'm like, okay, why did you give it to him so easily? I feel like George probably has some kind of motive, because you can't really get a lot over on George. Like, this guy's smart. Like, he's not dumb. So I feel like George also has some kind of motive, but at the same time, it's not fake. It can't be a fake Vice stamp because they end up using it. They end up using it to sacrifice the 3 dudes, and then those 3 dudes Kudo, the cult guy, and the Chameleon Deadman himself, and they ended up becoming stage 2 Deadman, stage 2, and now they have like their full, almost full powers and stuff like that. And also, Aguilera said that if you are sacrificing, you aren't chosen by gift, you just die, like you poof away, and none of 3 of them did. So yeah, and also when the sacrifice was happening, we see the Chameleon Deadman. We see his human form, but we only see like him from the back. We don't see his face, and he ends up turning back into Yujiro. So basically, he's like I'm not too fond of my original form, So I'll have to, so, Yujiro would just have to be who my original form is now. So we still don't know. This guy is still a freaking mystery. We don't even know what he really looks like. His real human form looks like. So yeah, I feel this gonna be a lot, because this guy, we don't know who he is or what he's about. We don't know where he came from, because he just came out of nowhere. So we don't know. So we see that Sakura ends up defeating the cult guy, and then Julio comes and picks him up. And we also see that Daiji is fighting Kudo, and Kudo is basically telling him stuff like, you're the biggest, you don't know how to empathize with people, you stick your nose in other people's business, you don't have you have the biggest ego you have the biggest ego in Japan, stuff like that. And then, Vice kind of gives him some words of encouragement, like, if you weren't the way you were, then you want to save so many people, and it's okay to be the way you are. And I love that. I actually really like that, because it shows that Iki and Vice are actually starting to bond a lot more, and I do like that they are bonding actually, and they're actually like becoming more and more friends. I'm glad that that's actually happening, and he's not treating Vice like crap anymore. But the fight continues, and we see that they have this ability, while they're Brave Rex, they have this ability, they can summon the remixes. So they end up summoning a remix, and they end up fusing 3 remixes together, and they had that remix go and fight Kudo, because Kudo was really fast. He was really fast. So he ends up, they end up using that. It doesn't defeat him, but it beats him, and they ended up defeating Kudo, and that's when Orteka comes in and picks up Kudo. So that's when they go back, and then they end up sacrificing those 3, and they become like full-fledged, like level 2 level 2. I think they're level 3 or level 2. Well, they become full dead men now, and they're happy that they didn't fade away. And also they talk about how they just pulled this whole thing over Aguilera. Julio didn't know, but Ortega and the other 3 did. And they talk about how we have a 6th sacrifice, and the 6th sacrifice is Aguilera. And Aguilera was like, what? How am I the 6th? And she's about to cry about it, because I don't know, like, why is this coming up now, and why did it just seems like they all just betrayed her right then and there, which seemed very weird. I didn't really get that. Julio didn't even know, and Julio, I could tell that they probably kept Julio out of the loop, because they knew he'd disagree with that, because he has some kind of, he probably has some feeling, it's obvious, but he has some kind of feelings for Aguilera, and he always wants her to smile and be happy and all that stuff, and he always wants her to get what she wants. So I can see why they kept him out of that loop when it came down to her being a sacrifice. And also we see a little kid Aguilera talk about, talking to these 2 older women who were basically I guess she was born into this cult to where they worship Gift, and these 2 women tell her that she is supposed to be the wife, the bride of Gift when she gets older and stuff. And I'm just sitting here like, what does that mean? Like, how long has this cult been around? That's something I never thought about. How long has this cult of Gift like been around and chilling like this? And how many followers and stuff do they have? Because this seems like a really big cult operation. So I wonder what they got, what's really going on, like, but with this cult and stuff like that. I wonder also, did Aguilera and did Aguilera, Julio, and Ortega like grow up together? Were they all born in the same cult together? Most likely, yeah, but we won't know till we see that. But with that, we see that Iki ends up getting back to the Phoenix place, and he sees Daiji and Hiromi. They're beaten up, and they see that he sees George standing there. He's able to put 2 and 2 together, and he's like, oh, they got the stamp. duck. But yeah, man, this was a great episode. This episode was fire, dude. Like, this was so much. This was a lot going on, and it, like I said before, it wasn't rushed. It didn't feel weird. It was just a great episode, and I can't wait to see what's going on now, because now that Yujiro is straight full on out a bad guy now, has been since episode one. What's gonna happen, man? And I wonder how Hiromi is gonna be feeling with this. I wonder if Hiromi is gonna be the one at the end of the day to take down this chameleon deadman who's impersonating his idol, you know. But other than that, this is a great episode. You guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this episode, man. What you guys think? Let me know, and I'll talk to you guys next time. And remember, stay henshin.